Hey, this is Josh with Grimco Tech Support. Just doing a quick video to explain how color replacements work in Onyx and why sometimes the swatch that you choose out of swatch books doesn't always print the same as what you printed the first time around. So let's say you're in swatch books here. You're creating a swatch based off of in this case, cool gray. Um, Generate the swatch, um, print those values, um, and then you pick the CMYK that you like out of the swatches. Um, so the obvious solution here would be to plug those numbers into your file, and it should print exactly the same way, but it doesn't. Um, Usually it'll be print pretty close, but it's running through the input profile and converting that color to like a base color before it converts it to the printer's um, uh, output gamut. So the way around that, a couple different ways you can handle that. So if you look here in Onyx, so basically what's happening is um, these colors in this file here are what they say here. So this is 0 black, this is 10% black, this is 20% black, and so on. But if you look down at the bottom down here, it shows a different set of values. It shows some CMY builds instead of just printing 70% black. And the reason for that is the input profile. So Onyx is interpreting that color and deciding a different way to meet that color within the gamut. So in this case, like it's simplified just to turn off profiles and apply that, regenerate a preview, eventually here, you'll see now it's showing the raw data down here in the bottom, 80% roughly, 70% pretty much, 60%, and so on. So now, but they look kind of funky. They actually probably will print more neutral than those other values would, the CMY values we saw before. But they turn a little bit grainy. That's kind of the downside with doing it this way. In this particular instance with pure hue grays. So one way to do it would be to change the file and then turn off your profiles. That's not the best way to do it because it might mess up other colors. So another way would be to just leave the profiles on and simply just, if this is more for like if you're just doing this one time, it's kind of a one-off deal, you can come in here and do a color replacement, use your dropper tool, and then select that color and just manually change it to the desired output, whatever you chose when you printed your swatch books. If it's going to be something that it's not a one-off deal, you got to print it all the time, then it probably makes more sense to go into RipQ, go in here to set up RIP configuration, color matching table, and make your own spot color. So here's all the system defined colors, so all those Pantones that are already defined in there. User defined colors, this is closer to a system defined color. You can input an LAB value, so this is really meant more for using a spectrophotometer to measure a patch. But over here in print mode defined colors, where you're defining the print mode as well, so you have to choose which printer and which print mode you're using, and then you can define a CMYK color. So we could say, my gray, and the spacing and spelling and capitalization is all got to be exact, just like cut contour or spot one. And then you'd set your CMYK values here. Let's say, make up a number here. That's my gray that I want. Save that out. And as long as I'm and hit OK here, so now, and I go back into Onyx Illustrator, create a spot color with that my gray name, and as long as I'm using that same print mode that I defined when I created that spot color, it'll ignore the input profile, ignore the preview color in the file, and convert it to the CMYK that I input there. So that would be a little bit more long term if you're doing that color over and over again. Hopefully that answers your question in a fairly quick manner. And if you have any questions, just let me know. Thanks. Bye.